I'm Erika, and I'm the host of the Speak Up Erika podcast. We talk about things that people are scared to talk about but should, so it focuses a lot about mental health and therapy. I also am the founder of the Locals Festival, so that's an online festival that showcases local artists and local businesses while also giving back to the community. I'm here with Déjà and Ajuki. Hey, you two.
Hey. So what's up, everybody? My name is Ajuki. If you aren't familiar with me, I am the founder of an LGBTQ plus collective here in Toronto. And we make, or I say we, but it's really me and my friends, the help of my friends. We produce events based on community needs, such as panel discussions, art showcases, nightlife events, and so much more. And today I'm super excited because I'm here with Erika and we're actually starting a brand new venture. Yeah. Right? So welcome to Out and Loud. Round of applause. So today we have our special guest here, Déjà, and Déjà is a great friend of mine. She is my unofficial, official community outreach, aka the gay ass plug. Welcome, Déjà.
We just say hi to gay people like all the time.
Exactly.
That's all I do. I spend the time just saying hi to gay people.
Yes. So I'm so excited to have you here. Yeah. Welcome, Déjà.
Yes, Déjà. I don't really. Okay, hold on. I don't really do much. I mean, I'm just like your local favorite Starbucks barista, but I do also like to engage in the community as much as possible. And if I know anything, it's to talk on social media all fucking day.
Yes.
It makes me feel comfortable and it helps me to stay in touch with the world, and that's my role in the community.
Yeah, I was gonna say you actually do play a big ass role, and I say you're the gay ass plug though because you have a voice and you're always like bringing attention to important issues, whether that's all around the world or in the city. So that's my girl. So today we're here and we're gonna speak a little bit about oversharing on social media. Erika, you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. I guess maybe I'll ask you first, Déjà.
Yeah.
Like, how has your experience been with, like, I feel like we're all kind of involved in posting a lot on socials, and like that's part of like a life as a millennial and stuff. Yeah. So like, how has your experience been with like choosing what to share, what to not share, and yeah.
Well, I have like every single social media platform, and I feel like I have a different personality on each of them. Ironically, the most unique and more true to myself is probably my Twitter. Oh. Where it's basically just an open book of my thoughts. Growing up, I was a really big like Justin Bieber fan.
Yep. Okay.
So that
Believer.
was like the gateway to like,
Twitter.
Staying in contact, to Twitter and like staying in contact with celebrities. And then it kind of just evolved to become this like individualized experience because I had the Twitter under an alias. Nice. So it was like I could say anything and no one could tie it back to me. And I didn't like having anyone on social media because I was like, I could say anything. Only in the last couple of years have people that I know joined that little part of it. I had like a bigger account that I had from like 2013 and it got suspended last year. And so like recently I have a new account where I'm a lot more private, I guess. There's still like a significant amount of followers, but they're not all strangers. Now it's like people that are around me or people that I know or that are in the city that know of me and vice versa. But I don't think that when it comes to oversharing, there's only like certain subjects that I'd like to keep to myself. I actually find a lot more confidence in knowing that people can have access to the person that I am because I get a little self-conscious that people see what I look like and assume that I'm a bad person or that like I'll be mean. You'd be surprised. Like whenever I have a conversation with someone,
because you got that resting bitch
so
face.
Nice. Yeah, like it's resting bitch face.
I'm like I did a head.
I know.
Yeah. What? Oh, but I get it. The resting bitch face.
And then sometimes I get shy and I don't want to talk to people or like I'll get like socially anxious. But I'm also very much a social butterfly. So as long as people are reciprocating the energy or I feel like my energy will be welcome. I'm very, very talkative, very loud, very much like the life of the party. Like
it's so interesting. You know, you're talking about the Twitter, like how your account couldn't be whatever traced back to you almost. And I've been needing and like feeling like I need another outlet to just be private, because I find like I'm starting to feel like social media really isn't a safe space. Like I'm kind of using my close friends tab more, and like, and even for nothing that's outrageous, but just like everyday shit, because I don't know, I don't want to say I'm scared, that's not the right word, but I definitely feel like people are watching.
Yeah, people really keep
or are nosy. Yeah. You know, maybe it's like curiosity killed the cat kind of thing. Like people are more curious than they actually care.
Yeah.
I'm realizing. But no, I definitely can relate to that. And especially just like, I try to be so transparent about like, for example, mental health on social media. And I find now, because I'm thinking social media isn't a safe space, I'm even like not sharing as much as I usually would.
Yeah. No, I completely understand.
Do you feel more comfortable sharing with strangers than people that you actually
Yes.
Like 100%,
Yes.
which is really weird, because you should be able to feel comfortable around the people that like you know. But I find that even when I talk to those people, they'll make like a judgment or create like an idea of the way that I operate just based off of the information that I tell them.
Exactly.
So like speaking it into, I always say like Twitter is the void. Like it's just me screaming into the void like over and over and over again, even though there's people on there that see it. Sometimes I'll see my friends in person. They're like, oh yeah, you tweeted about it. And I'm like, what?
You're like, what?
Oh, you saw that? You saw that? Like, oh shit, I forgot about that.
Oh my God. I always tell people like, as soon as you add me, just mute me. Just mute me, because I'm going to be on there all day.
Yeah.
It's like a stress reliever.
Yeah.
Like a squeeze ball.
Have you ever been in like a position where someone has found your social media and like you posted something that you shouldn't have, or like shouldn't have said, and got in trouble for it? And that can be like with a job, but that can also be like with like a relationship or like friends. Like I feel like people are like, you know what people were doing to me for a while? They were like, what is it? As soon as you don't reply to your text message, it's like, but I see you on social media. And for a while I wouldn't use social media just because I had like text messages and stuff that I didn't want to reply to, because people are just harassing me for replies.
Yeah. That's why I stay off of Instagram most of the time. Twitter though, I'm gonna be on Twitter no matter what. And everyone knows that. Like I think they've got it in their head that I'm not very private about what goes on that social media platform. But if I know that there's someone, you know, like you get an Instagram message and then you don't reply, but then you post a story, and then like people, you see that they saw, and I get like anxious almost, because I'm like, maybe I should reply like right now. I don't know. Like I feel bad not replying. Whereas like on Twitter, because I know most of the people there don't care if I don't answer them. It's whatever.
And Erika, were you the type of person to share a lot before you started the Speak Up Erika podcast?
Okay, so I feel like I used Twitter a lot in high school, and I feel like everyone at that time, like the earlier stages in Twitter, people just said like whatever. It was so casual. Yeah. Like we didn't really have like those threads, or like it's more of like news now too. So it was like super casual, always on there. I forgot what your question was.
I was saying, were you the type of person to share a lot before your podcast, or were you like a private person?
Yeah, so that was like me on Twitter. I would share a lot, but in person I was like very quiet to people I don't know. And if I knew you, if like we vibed and stuff, then I would just talk to you forever. I think I was very private at first when it was converting to non-casual Instagram. Like, Instagram was also super casual. Like you would just post like, I don't know, here's my toilet or something.
Yeah. Like remember when social media was like that? Yeah.
But now it's like, it's so businessy, and like you have to be kind of choosy on what you post, I guess.
Definitely.
So it's like before I was doing that, and then like I would be going through stuff and posting more vulnerably. I can't say it.
Yeah, vulnerability. Yeah.
So I would like post about mental health stuff or like shit that I was going through, and it's funny because people I don't talk to would reach out and be like, "Oh hey, like,
no idea." Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing that. I feel the same way, and then that helped me want to speak up more about it. Yeah.
So interesting. Like you both are like, we can all agree that it's easier kind of to say things like to the screen than to like people you know. And like sometimes, I know it sounds really bad, but I'm gonna just use this, you know, out and loud podcast to just say whatever I want. Sometimes I'll like post things about like mental health, and I know it sounds bad, but it's not necessarily like an invitation to start a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't really need the, oh, like, how are you doing? Like, do you want to talk about if you're ever here? Like, no, this is my outlet. Like, I'm literally just like you were saying, just yelling into the void. Like, and I feel so bad. And like, I don't want to be rude, but sometimes it's like, if I just wrote this, you know, incredibly long paragraph, yes, of course, it obviously like the normal person would go and like reach out, but like, why do you think that I would like want to elaborate and give you all the details?
A personal like explanation on what I just did.
Yeah, it's like
So funny.
I already shared enough. Don't ask me like specific details. I don't know. It gets under my skin just a little bit.
No, I get it completely. I think the most vulnerable I've ever been on my social media was like when I did like the anniversary of like my first trigger warning, my first sexual assault. And then everyone was kind of like, what? Like a little alarmed by it because I had only told like you and like a select few people who I felt needed to know in order for that person to not be around me when I wanted to be around. Yeah. So it was like the comments were kind of overwhelming.
Yes.
I know that like a couple people were like, thank you for this, because I know there's a lot of people that struggle with it like on their own. I didn't realize how impactful it was going to be on my mental health. I genuinely thought that it was like, I'm pretty resilient, so I genuinely thought it was going to be something that I could just leave alone. But I think talking about those things and openly and not being ashamed of them will really show other people to not be ashamed of it as well. Like that's ultimately why I do it, you know?
And that kind of reminds me of like just personal experiences that I'm having where people don't understand, like, I don't want to be an advocate for something. Like, I don't have all of the answers. I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to share my experience. And I feel like sometimes people too, especially like when you're sharing either trauma or like mental health or something personal, because you're sharing it, people feel like inclined to get more answers. It's like, well, you posted about it, so like give up the names. Like, where were you? Like, da-da-da. And it's just like, it's none of your fucking business.
At the end of the day, like, it's none of your fucking
But yet it's so funny because yet it's like, here we are posting on the internet, and yet the internet is like a worldwide thing. It's so interesting.
We're like, mind your business.
Yeah, we're like, mind your business. Exactly. And that kind of reminds me too of like reality TV shows where like people don't want their life to be like questioned, but like their whole life is on the air. So it's like, of course you're gonna get those questions. So it's like, where's the fine line between, you know, privacy on social media?
I think that you can engage. I have like a lot of friends that watch reality TV. I definitely, growing up, thought that like Keeping Up with the Kardashians needed to be recorded in PVR.
Yeah, I think we all low-key had that phase.
I think we all went through that phase. And like I went through like my black ink phase, you know, just little things. I think you have to remove yourself from that though. You're not entitled to know the background story behind what's happening. You know what I mean? Like,
that's very true.
At the end of the day, people will let you know and expose however much they want to. And you can't sit there and be like, just because we talked about it in person or we talked about it in general, that you're entitled to know more. This is what I'm comfortable giving you, and that's just something that you have to sit with. As soon as people start to get entitled and be like, okay, well, like, more information, please. Come on, like, give it to me. It's like, no.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Just like knowing your boundaries on social media.
Boundaries,
Yeah.
Exactly. How do you feel about like people that post comments underneath when you make these posts about like mental health? Like, how does it feel for you guys to have people comment about the situation? Like, is it affirming to you? Is it something that kind of stresses you out and overwhelms you after a while? Do you know what I mean?
Like, are you talking about like people who react to what
And
I
want to
post on
engage
social
in it?
media?
Yeah.
I guess it depends, because I feel that not the people comment on like the Speak Up post, but my podcast is pretty like small. So I see like my community small, so those people would actually like send me a text message instead, like more personal. And it's like, I know them, so it's like they'll just tell me that I listen to this pod, like oh, sorry. They'll just tell me I listened to this episode and like they really vibed with it and stuff like that. But they won't probe me to answer more.
That's good. It means your support system respects you.
Yeah. It ultimately boils down to respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we are here and we are starting this podcast because it is Pride Month. So I'm super excited. And, before we started recording, Déjà, you spoke a little bit about being like outed on social media, which I definitely want to talk about because I feel like I'm out. I know you're out.
Super
We're out. But I've seen people outed on social media, and it's so interesting that you even brought that up because, I run the FOMO like LGBTQ page, and sometimes I double question like sharing people's posts because I don't know
who you have on there.
Exactly. And I don't know if they're out in their everyday life because some people are really just out on social media. Like they, like they block out everybody else or the people who aren't, accepting of them from social media. So I always feel like that. And I don't know, have you ever been in a situation like that, Déjà? I mean, how long have you been out?
I've been out since I was like 18.
Okay. And
I realized I was gay, and then I was like, all right, that's it. Everybody has to know. Like,
figured it out.
Told my parents. As soon as I told my parents, it wasn't a big deal. So like, my sister knows. My sister tells everybody. The only people that don't know are like my grandparents. My mom's parents know. Like my Lolo and Lola know, but like my other grandparents don't know, and that's just because religious reasons.
Okay.
It would lead to like me not being invited to family parties and stuff, and like I want to be able to see my grandparents and I want to be able to experience them. I mean, I got what is considered an unfortunate curse to me of like not looking gay because I could not be comfortable and want to be a more masked woman, but I don't know, I think when it comes to outing on social media, I know that I have a family account, a super family. The only thing that's posted on there are like pictures of me, my brother, and my sister. Politics. I started getting political on there because I was like, yeah, we're gonna do this. I was like, I know you guys don't want to hear it, but we're gonna do this. And then like just interacting with my family because I like to keep my actual like KJ Déjà account separate. I used to be very crass on there. I like to say like I would post anything that I feel comfortable with, have engaged in like random conversations. I remember when my cousin first found me, I forgot that he was on there, forgot to block him off my stories. But then I decided to have like an entire segment where I wanted to discuss threesomes and just like talking with people and like engaging with people. As soon as we got like the questions thing, I was like, I want to know more. Like, have you experienced this? What did you do? And my cousin swiped up and he was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, I told you, like, this is how I am. I like to have open discussions about literally everything. I don't know, maybe it's just the way that we grew up. Like, they're all Catholic. They're all Filipinos, so they're all Catholic. And they all grew up in a Catholic school. I'm the only one that went to a public school. And I think it was a culture shock for them because all of a sudden it went from being like very closed in and to myself to like being out and gay and like having political discussions with my family and calling them out on the shit that they're saying and being like, no, that's homophobic. Try again later. You know what I mean?
When you were saying you have an Instagram family account, I was like, I can relate because I have one too. I was like, I know it. And it's so funny because like, I'll do the same. Like I'll go on my main account and then like block all my family members. And then I'll see like a couple of cousins slip through the cracks. I'm like, oh God. And then I'm like, oh, what's the point? Because it's like now my parents' friends have found me on like my main account, but my parents are blocked. And I'm just like, this is so stupid. I'm like, I can't. And I totally feel like I don't have a safe space. And not saying that I'm trying to hide certain things from my family, but like there's definitely, everybody is a certain way with their family and then a certain way with their friends, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Do you have a private account, Erika?
I don't.
Like you don't have any ghost like accounts at all? Spams?
I have like a burner account.
Yes.
But like I don't really. Yeah, I don't really post.
You're not posting. So what are you doing on it? Creeping?
No, I like follow celebrities and stuff.
Oh,
that's smart.
So it's
I
like
do that,
all
yeah.
the celebrities or whatever.
That's
I'll like follow
smart.
it there, or I'll use it to post to see how it looks like when I share it to stories. If that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 'cause
For all the
sometimes,
business people out there,
the
it's a hack.
lines happen. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do know.
Right, and then I have to like make sure it's all cropped and it doesn't have the weird.
That's so interesting that you say that you're only like following celebrities because my account's like that too. Like my other account, I'm only following like it's different people because it's like some people I want to see on this account, some people I want to see on this.
Yeah.
And I will say it's kind of nice though that we can like filter out what we can see on like a spam,
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about like people getting offended. Like if you unfollow them, my God, that needs to stop. And yet
Have people called you out?
no, I'm just saying that people get offended in general.
They do, like really weirdly offended. I follow like 1,000 people that I just don't care for most of them. I don't see their posts.
Exactly.
And I'm just afraid that like they're gonna take it the wrong way if I unfollow them. And it's not just, I just don't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah. And it's like, and for me, like I'm pretty good with it where like I just lie, be like, yeah, like I'll follow you back. And then like I'd never follow them back.
Yeah.
But it's because I don't want to see the pictures of like your dog at the barbecue. Like, yeah, your dog's cute, but I don't need this on my timeline. If it's like a business that I'm interested in, sure. If you're like posting a lot about like some political issue that I'm following, sure. But don't be offended if I don't follow you back.
Yeah.
I'm not offended if you don't follow me back. And I feel like it should just be like a normal thing where like we can like, even to our friends, be like, I don't want to follow you, but you're still my homie.
No, I get it.
That's so interesting. It's like about choosing what you want to see in your feed and like what
Exactly.
energy you want to bring. Because then it's sometimes like you could be friends with someone, but they post like,
Negative shit.
you know, and you don't want that in your life. And it's like, where's the boundary of like unfollowing them and not? 'Cause
Exactly.
they post.
And I will say though, I mean, I feel like this. Do you guys feel like this? But like during quarantine or COVID quarantine, whatever you want to call it, being disconnected from people, it makes it easier to unfollow because then you don't get that. You don't get bombarded in person. Like, Déjà, why did you unfollow me? It's like, no, I haven't seen you in a whole year.
Interesting.
I'm unfollowing you. Because I've done it. Like, honestly, I took advantage of the pandemic to just be like, I'm distancing myself from people that I really don't need in my life. And now there's that physical distance. There can be that distance on social media too.
Interesting. I felt more guilty unfollowing people because I was like,
You have to keep up with them.
each other in person. I don't want you to feel like you can't reach out to me because I unfollowed you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not that they ever would, because obviously we don't talk enough for me to not want to follow them. But I don't know. I think
Isn't that interesting? I feel like I've tried to step away from social media. So I'm kind of like, I'm only there to be like, oh, this local business.
Yeah.
Here's the Speak Up podcast of the week. And then I'm just like, all right, peace.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I'm like trying to set my own boundaries of just not even being in that space as much. So I didn't even think about that, to be honest.
It's so funny because I've been trying to step away from social media too. And it's so hard when it's like we're so disconnected in real life. What is there to do? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm so like I'm just tapped out. My energy is tapped out for like Zoom calls and like virtual parties. Like it's
virtual parties. I started showing up in my pajamas.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is such a fun opportunity for me to like get dressed up and look cute. And I was like, why am I doing that? I'm literally in a basement. Like,
I know.
It's an apartment. I know you don't want to do this.
I know.
Not cute.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm have my fingers crossed for June, but to, switch up the combo a little bit besides quarantine and COVID. I don't know why I keep calling it quarantine. I'm like, quarantine.
Because it's cooler.
Yeah, it does sound cooler. We're in quarantine, even though it's unfortunate as fuck. Have jobs ever found your social media accounts and it's been a big thing?
Not that I know of.
No? You, Erika?
Jobs, but my managers.
That's like a job.
Was like, I saw you on Twitter. And like my coworkers are like, I saw you on Twitter. And I'm like, you should definitely just block me. Like, I don't want anyone from my workplace on my Twitter. I don't care if we're like best friends at work. I don't want it. That's a different lifestyle. That's a different life. I like.
That's a different Déjà.
That's a different Déjà. I purposely filter myself at work. Like, I'm pretty open and honest with them, but not like my Twitter. Please.
Yeah.
Move. Just go.
And how about you, Erika? And I mean, I feel like your social media is a little less risque than Déjà and myself. But then again, I don't know, because you said you have your spam account. So
what was the question again? I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I was saying if you've ever like had a bad situation because of social media and like your job and not being taken seriously.
I don't think anything really job related, because all of my jobs are like minimum wage ones. They don't really care about
feel you,
me.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
this is my first like job that I'm not in that kind of work, and like I actually care if like maybe they
found it.
Yeah, maybe if they found it. I feel like I care more if like family found it, because like sometimes maybe I'll like post myself smoking a spliff or something like that. And it's just like, oh, I don't want like my family to see that. But then like my titas or titos like end up following me, and I'm like, what?
You're like, you're like, and no.
Like, what if they send this to my parents, and like all these things kind of run through your head?
Yeah.
So
And it's so funny that we're saying this as like grown ass women too. Keep in mind, like, and yeah.
But that's why I keep it separate, I think, is because like I don't want to have to police myself on social media. Like I'm having fun here. Like I don't want, I'm very slowly introducing my parents to the real Déjà.
True.
Like I'll tell my dad, I literally tell my dad everything. I told you guys this already.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I'll tell him things. He's like, I don't know why you're like this. And I'm like, it's fine. When I tell my mom though, there's a little bit of judgment. So I try to avoid it. But I wouldn't want the image that I have. I guess for my family's sake, I wouldn't want anyone else to kind of know, because
I feel you. No, I can.
Like a respectability
Yeah.
that we're able to acknowledge doesn't need to be there. The whole like respectability politics, but when it comes to like families judging other families, it's completely like void. Like,
Yeah. No, I can definitely relate, because my social media has been crazy for years, and I've always felt like I don't want to say like the black sheep in my family, but I am the black sheep in my family. And if someone like came across like my social media, it's a discussion in the family, even though I know it's not to my face kind of thing. And like even to this day, like my mom, everyone's always like, Ajuki's mom. Like she's known as Ajuki's mom. Like she's always telling me how like people go up to her and they're like, oh, like I watch her show, or like I'm such a fan of her Instagram posts, or like you're so hot, which she also gets a lot. And it's great, but I definitely have felt like even though I am confident on there, I have like imposter syndrome, where like I'll go into certain rooms and I'm already thinking, oh, no one's gonna take me seriously, or they already think I'm like this. And it happens a lot. It definitely does. I remember this one time I had a really bad experience with like, I guess my first corporate job. I'm not gonna drop the names, but I went in for this interview, and I remember being so confident for the position, and like my resume was ready. Like I was in a blazer looking cute. Like I just knew that I was going to get the job. And I remember the lady telling me that she like found my Instagram, and she just just reamed into me too. It was like it was a woman working for the company, but it was like, the person that you kind of like talk to before your interview.
Like HR? Like
not even HR, but just like, I don't know, just
desk lady?
Just like a kind of like a desk lady. Exactly. Like whatever. She also worked at the company, but she was just basically telling me how everybody like that was going to be hiring me has already found my Instagram, how they already think this of me, how I shouldn't be showing my boobs on Instagram, how I shouldn't be posting marijuana on Instagram. Yeah, it was quite a lot. And then I remember just being really like alarmed, went into the interview and just, put that in the back of my head, killed the interview, got the job.
Yes, bitch.
As soon as I like left though, burst out into tears and was like crying uncontrollably, called my mom and was just like, I don't even know if I want to take this job because, which I ended up doing, but like, I don't even know if I want to take this job because like, who the fuck says that to somebody? And then it's like, then I got hired. It was just like a big fat question mark. Yeah. And like, even like the vibes afterwards, I remember like, I wanted to just, I guess, a career change. This is my first 9-to-5 job, right? So it's like, I'm going to take this job. But I remember just going in the first couple of weeks, and the vibes toward me were very different. And it's so funny because at work, like I have tattoos at work. Nobody, like, you can never see my tattoos. Like I was always like covered up very, very differently. And you can definitely tell that like the vibes in the room were just very judgmental.
Oh my God.
And that's why I'm like asking, have you guys ever had these bad experiences? Because it's horrible. It really is. And now I'm like super weird with social media, and like I don't know whether to share some of my work because it's on social media. You know what I mean? Like if it's event stuff or like, I don't know, hosting a party or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, don't want to be like, oh, like this is what I'm doing, because people usually judge.
I hate that for you. It costs $0 to mind your business.
For real. It really does.
You don't get paid to do it.
And that's why though, I'm so glad to even sit down with you two and be able to talk about this podcast, just because it's given me the opportunity to just like say some shit out and loud. And yeah, no, it's been great. And I look forward to continuing the conversations with you both. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on, base on?
I just want to let everyone know that once again, it costs $0 to mind your business.
Right.
You're not entitled to anyone's thoughts or them having to delve deeper into their soul so you understand them better. And yeah, that's just it. Yeah.
I think like I want to just say like thank you, Ajuki, for even wanting to collab.
Of course.
With me. And then like thinking of this idea and bringing like Déjà on, like we just vibed. Like this is my first time meeting you, and me too, right? Like we're having like a conversation like this and feeling safe to just speak about what we want
For
to.
sure.
Like that's so important, and yeah, like I appreciate you too.
Yeah,
so,
and it's like,
thank you.
if we don't have the space on social media, we're going to do it here.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to do it here. But before I guess we go and wrap up this conversation, I just want everybody to actually go and peep Speak Up Erika, that podcast, and, you know, really just run through all the episodes so you can get a better chance of what you're going to look forward to, and also get to know Erika a little bit as well.
She's also an author, so check her out.
Yes. Tell me about this book.
This book is a collection of short stories. So we talk about child molestation, like sexual assault as well, and like just growing up being like a woman, I guess, like racism and just like little things. And they're all very short stories, so it's digestible content, I guess. And then that's kind of how it came about to continue conversations on Speak Up, because people are like, oh, when's next book? Like I really like your first one. I'm like, I don't know what else to really write about. So like, okay, let's do it this way.
No, I definitely felt like we aligned, and you know, you say that you wanted to continue the conversation, and that's something I always say with FOMO is that I'm creating spaces based off collaboration, communication, and art, and like that's what we're doing. And no, I'm super excited, and especially just to like even speak a little bit more directly to those of FOMO and those of Speak Up Erika. And we have a platform for the LGBTQ plus community to always feel safe and literally talk shit. So tune in.
Yes.
Be true to yourself.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much. Thanks, Erika. And Déjà, make sure I'm like, well, Déjà, do you want people to follow you on Instagram? I was about to plug your social media, and then we just had this whole conversation about how we don't want people.
Instagram's cool. Mind your business. At KJ Déjà, DEJA.
Instagram's cool, but don't expect a follow back.
Don't expect to follow back, because that makes me anxious. And then just please don't ever touch my Twitter. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much. And you can follow, I guess my Instagram is AJUKIX, but make sure you follow FOMO.to. And
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I guess my social, I don't really know what I want you to follow. I guess just Speak Up is cool.
Yes.
Yeah, at Speak Up Erika on Instagram. That's really it.
Exactly. And you can find out and loud content on both accounts. So both on Speak Up Erika and FOMO.to.
Yes.
All right. Well, happy Pride. That's episode 1.
Yes.
Deuces.
That was good, guys.
Yay.